I fasted for 4 days, and this is how it went. So when people think about fasting, normally they think about like not eating during the day, they think about only eating certain foods, but I did a water fast. So that's just drinking water for 4 days is how long I did it, and no food at all. So, I mean, obviously you're gonna ask, well, what's the reason you would do that? So the main reason is health-wise. So it's not to lose fat, it's a process called autophagy. So after fasting for a couple of days, not eating any calories, your body begins to break down old cells to look for energy. And in that process, the dead cells, the cells that are causing you inflammation, are causing you slight kind of distress within the organs and muscles, they are killed first. Those are also cancer cells. So by doing this regularly, someone can prevent, or maybe not prevent, but minimize their risk of cancer. So after 2 days autophagy, you begin breaking down those cells, and you allow your body to kind of heal itself, right? Which you would never be able to do if you didn't, take a break from eating and stop for a minute. The second thing, which was a big thing for me, was mental strength. Not eating for 4 days is hard, right? Obviously it's hard. So not eating for 4 days builds mental strength, mental endurance, right? And that's what I was really looking for. And it certainly did that, right? Because it is hard, and overcoming that can teach yourself, can give you something as proof that you are strong, you can go through things, you can come out the other side as a winner, right? So that was the main thing. And a bonus thing is that you appreciate food so much more after you haven't eaten in 4 days, right? You have all these cravings throughout the time you're not eating. And when you finally get to eat and you finally get to have those cravings, it feels amazing, right? And if you're trying to stick to a diet, you're trying to do something else that is kind of restrictive or potentially challenging, it's going to make it a lot easier because you've already done this hard thing, and now you're just coming on it's half as difficult, or it's whatever, right? So in my experience, right, the first day you're not eating for a full day, really the only hunger is that you're very used to eating breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner, right? So when you don't eat dinner, your body's going to go, hang on, what's going on? It's going to make you feel hungry because it's going, why is there no food, right? We're supposed to be eating about now. So once you overcome that, it's the next morning, you still haven't eaten, you begin to get more and more hungry, right? You start going, shit, this is going to be hard, right? Because now it's the second day and you haven't eaten in over 24 hours, maybe over 30 hours, and eventually up to 48 hours on the second day, right? So those cravings, that hunger is gonna get very strong. Your body's still trying to burn food, right? Your body's still trying to burn food in your body, right? But there's no food there, right? Because you haven't eaten. So on that second day, going to the third day, you're progressing to your body using ketones for energy. So using ketones to access your body's fat stores and using fat as energy, right? And that's a lot slower energy. It's a very stable energy throughout the third and fourth day. It's a very stable energy, but it's a very low energy, right? A short walk feels a lot more tiring than it should, but you don't have those peaks and troughs that you would have if you're just eating carbs and pastas and breads and stuff like that, right? So the second day is probably the hardest because you haven't eaten 48 hours, your body's still trying to find some food, but you're not giving it any. And you're moving over to ketosis, right? So on the third day, you start getting used to the hunger and it starts subsiding, right? You start getting less hungry because your body's moved to ketones. So your body has plenty of fat, right? Even if we're pretty lean, we still have heaps of fat. So your body starts accessing that energy and it has plenty of energy to use. That's when you're in autophagy now. So your body is starting to break down those dead and old cells and you're starting to, heal itself. That's when you start feeling the effects of it. And, obviously as your energy goes lower, you have to kind of adapt your lifestyle. You can't be doing super intense workouts. You can still exercise and stuff. At this point, what I should have been doing is supplementing with vitamins and minerals and stuff. I was putting electrolytes in my water to replenish because you're not getting any from food. But because I wasn't having any multivitamins or anything, I had quite low iron. So the classic symptoms of if you get up too fast, you feel lightheaded, whatever. But that was kind of the extent of my dramas with that. And then on to the fourth day, like it's pretty much the same as the third. Low energy, but manageable. It's very manageable. You can still do daily things. The hunger is on the fourth day, I felt was almost gone. The hunger, it's all in the mind. It's all expectations of when you should eat, what you should eat. Kind of, for most people, if you've never taken a break from eating before, it's a very drastic change. So just by changing your mind state, which may be very hard to do, you can kind of allow yourself to be in a fasted state a lot easier, right? So on the fourth day, yes, you're still hungry, but you're really not starving. It's nothing like that. Honestly, in my experience, I felt I could have gone another day, at least to the 100-hour point, which was, it's only 4 more hours past the 96, which is 4 days. And I think from there, from what I've heard, day 5, day 6, day 7, it's kind of the same. You're not feeling that hunger, still with the low energy, but you're just burning your body's fat cells. So really, like, it gets easier, at least mentally, right? And coming out of your fast, breaking your fast is a hard thing to do. It's not just, I'm gonna go out for a steak dinner. So what people might not understand, right, what I didn't know was that how much your stomach shrinks, right? So your stomach shrinks massively over the 4 days. So breaking your fast, you should be eating, a small amount of dates or a small amount of olives or something light, something easy to digest, right? I didn't really do that. I kind of just ate normal food and some, normal quantities for anyone who's not fasting, but quantities that are a lot for someone who is fasting. And you're not supposed to do that for your digestive kind of health, I guess. Your body kind of get back into digesting food. Really, all that caused me was bloating for a couple days. So I just felt, a bit sluggish, a bit like in my stomach, just bloated, right? But there was no other side effects from that. So I have to play around with that more. Like I've gone from intermittent fasting, so just not eating till maybe midday, to a 1-day fast, 2-day, 3-day, and now this is the 4th day, right? If one of you guys are thinking about fasting, if you've never fasted before, just go for a 24-hour fast. You don't want to push it too far. You can cause yourself some distress, right? Especially mentally, like a lot, because a lot of it is mental, right? And it's a very new thing. Like the average person has never not eaten for an extended period of time before, or at least by choice, right? So it's a very different thing. So you've got to work up to it, right? And you have to listen to your body a lot. That's the main thing, right? If you're feeling really bad or you're feeling really sick, you got to pull out. You got to think about the long-term views more than like what's happening in the short term, right? It's really about listening to your body. Yeah, I mean, I would recommend making sure you supplement with vitamins, minerals, having plenty of electrolytes throughout the day. That'll make sure your body's not getting too deficient in those, because it will. You're drinking a lot of water. There's no minerals, nutrients coming in from food, so you're depleting a lot of them, right? So supplementing can really just make sure you're going to be sufficient in those areas. The only thing is with fish oil capsules, I don't know. I believe they might have like a couple calories in the oil because they're oil. So just check with that. Just make sure there's no calories going in. I mean, some people have allowed themselves to have black coffee. Technically, I believe there's no calories in black coffee. I chose not to, even though I am a coffee drinker, just as a kind of detox, not a detox in a sense, but a kind of a break from it to see how it affects my daily life, my mood, and kind of a reset. I'm not sure if that's long enough for a reset in terms of caffeine tolerance, but that was kind of my thought process there. Yeah, so I mean, fasting, it's certainly something you should give a try. Give it a try, even if it's just for the mental aspect, to see if you could do it, how you feel, right? I mean, I'm sure everyone knows this. If you haven't eaten all day, that steak dinner is going to taste so much better, right? So there's a mirage of reasons for you to have to try fasting, and yeah, thank you.